Excellent. And the third and final speaker in our series of Three the Hard Way is the founder of the award-winning Jacaranda Books, Valerie Brandes. Valerie is a trailblazer in the publishing industry, and her company has become a leading light in championing diverse voices and narratives. We were talking earlier about how we tell our stories and inspire people. Looking forward to hearing her perspective on the evolving landscape of the publishing world. Possibly there'll be a question about AI as well and publishing. But before we meet Valerie, let's have a quick clip. Run VT, please.
5 things that I think when it comes to being in business and being purposeful about your business. First, I would say is decide what you want to do. For me, it was all about black books and black authors and black writing and what I wanted to see. Secondly, I would say commit to your vision, commit to your purpose, and that's going to take a lot of self-belief. Surround yourself with people who not only believe in your purpose, but really believe in you as well. Number 4, be determined. And number 5, I would say to always check your purpose and make sure that as you're going along in business, that you're still in alignment with your original goals and values.
Valerie Brandes, okay. So Valerie, we're going to chat in a moment, but first of all, over to you. Okay.
That was hilarious. Oh my God, where did you get that from? It's crazy. Okay, so yeah, I'm Valerie Brandes. I'm founder and CEO of Jacaranda Books. I founded the company in 2012, and it came about as a result of the fact that I'd been living in America and had 2 small children, wanted to come back to the UK, and had always been involved with books, book selling, reading, writing. That was my art-based existence, Andy. And that's where I really felt like I could make a difference. And so I actually ended up doing a master's at City University. So I had 2 small children under the age of 12, and the master's was my way back into the world of work. I really wanted to do an MFA, that would have been my dream, but I ended up doing a master's in publishing studies. And as a result of that, I got my first job in publishing. I was 47 years old, and I was the office manager. But I was the office manager at my favorite publishing house, an amazing independent press. And I met one of my mentors, a man called Andrew Franklin, who basically has been just sort of a guiding light behind me the whole time. And I was able to last in that job for about 1 year. And you can only do so much to fix the photocopier and all the toilet paper, and after that, it's enough. So I just decided I needed to do it for myself. There was really no one that was helping me. I wasn't getting internships. I literally wasn't getting anywhere. And also, more significantly, I knew that I could. And I don't know where that came from or what that was within me, but I just knew that if I tried to do this, I could do it. And so 2012, January, you go back, usually that first week of January, you're going back to work. I didn't have a job. I didn't have a computer. I didn't have a business card. All I had was that colour phone, which was made by the art director from Profile. And I took that with me, and I went around, and I thought, let me go to a number of events, because I knew I wanted to launch the business. And I actually, before that, I did go to the British Library, and I did the whole business plan, sort of using the extracts from all of the big research companies in the British Library business section. And so I had my business plan, and then I started to go to events. And the very first book that I published was a book called Fashion Africa, and the author is in the room here, I believe, today. And then it just went from there. A little while after that, I met Jasmine Breary, who's also here in the room. And I said to her, Jasmine, I'm starting a business, come and join me. I'd met her before at Profile. She was an intern there. I was running the internship. And so we went off on this journey together. A little bit about this industry that we're in. So in the publishing world, there's about £6.9 billion market, which is up, from 2021. And books drive the creative industries. And I think that's a really important factor to remember, that out of all the sectors within the arts, books and book publishing is the biggest sector, followed by film and then music. And lots of those endeavors are driven by books. And so we have been very instrumental at Jacaranda, and I'll sort of talk about that after, in terms of changing the landscape for black authors and black books, but now we can talk about the revenues of Black authors. There are about 200,000 books published a year within the British publishing industry. And so if you look at the revenues that we're talking about and the number of the revenue of Black authors, you can see that the percentage of Black writing is still extremely small, and we're doing a lot of heavy lifting for that industry. So basically, I decided I was going to become a publisher. I'm just a Black girl from Hackney, but a Black girl from Hackney that was really good at reading, really good at books, really good with language, and just had a passion for it. And so once I started this company, we went through some really difficult times. I mean, in the beginning, it started off amazing. As I was saying, Jazz and I, that year, I was going to do one non-fiction book and one fiction title. Fashion Africa ended up being the fiction book, non-fiction book, which is a very expensive book to make. And we published Patrick Walsh's novel. And then we went to an event, the Kane Prize event. And by the time we came out of that event, we had 6 more authors. And then it just went on, and within the first year, we had a book on the Man Booker International shortlist. And then we just went on from there. We were able to find, one of our earliest acquisitions also was an author from Cameroon. So we worked with a Cameroonian publisher, which was really exciting. We had a lot of exciting firsts in the office, Jazz and I, in those early days. But around about 2017, I won't go into the boring structure of the industry, but it's very, very hard to be a small press in this industry. And so I was struggling with what I was really going to do. So around about 2018, we were having this discussion, and I said, you know what? 2020 is coming up. I've got a 2020 vision. We're going to publish 20 Black British writers in 2020. And the reason behind that was because the industry has a real problem with finding and supporting Black authors. And it's usually one in. So they get their one author, they don't really look for anyone else. And there's a perception behind that there isn't the quality there, or, their books don't sell, or lots of excuses are made. And so it felt really important for us at that time. We'd published globally already. We wanted to focus on home. And so that's what we did. In 2018, we put out a call for manuscripts. By the end of the year, we had all the manuscripts. And we had a new member of staff come on board, amazing Magdalene Abraha. And I want them all to stand up eventually. But she came from Bloomsbury. She said, I love what you're doing. We'd published the Trayvon Martin story, and she was just like, this is where I want to be. And so she came on board. Beginning of 2019, we had our authors and we had our story. And Mags had her connections at The Guardian and the bookseller. And so we put the story out there. And The Guardian came back right away, put the story out, and it went viral. And it's kind of just really took off from there. So these were the 20 books that we published in 2020. 10 fiction, 5 non-fiction, 5 poets. And obviously, thank you. Thank you. Obviously, we all know what happened in 2020, and we couldn't have published 20 in 2021, so we really were under the cosh in terms of getting those books out that year. We'd published Through the Leper's Gaze was the first non-fiction, and Under Solomon's Skies was the first fiction, and then the world shut down. So we had to get very, very serious and creative about how we were going to get these books out. We ended up starting a crowdfunder with another small press, amazing company, Roundtable Books and Nights Of, with Amy Falone. And we started that the summer, I believe it was in June. And the end of the first weekend, we were at about £10,000. And then during the course of that following week, George Floyd was murdered. And by the time we finished the fundraiser, we were at £160,000, which was just such an exoneration in a way of what we were trying to accomplish with what we were doing. Everyone could see the importance of it, and they really wanted to make it happen. So we were able to split those funds between us as 2 publishers, and then we ring-fenced a smaller amount for 10 other publishers to get us all through that year of publishing. By the end of the year, we were Small Press of the Year, and I was approached by some of the big 5 publishers, one with a straight acquisition, just wanted to buy Jacaranda, but the offer just didn't feel right. And the one that we went with was Hachette UK. So they are now, they don't own us, we are still very independently owned, and just as Byron, I own the business. It's all my money, all my business. Yeah. But what we've been able to do is we're partnering with Hachette to do our sales and distribution, which means we have a global reach. Our books are available everywhere you buy books. And yeah, for a small press of five people, that's really amazing. So not all the team is here, but the ones that are here, please stand up. And I really, the way they kind of, but it's really important for me to highlight my team at Jacaranda because they're amazing women, they're young women. I want to pass the baton. I'm not somebody that wants to hold on and hold on and hold on. And I believe the future, there is a cover that we did at the bookseller for our 10-year anniversary. And above me on the header, it says bookseller since 1858. Right, and here we are at Jacaranda on this cover. We're only 10 years old, but I want us to be here in 100 years, you know, so that's why I'm trying to build this team. And they're just an incredible group of women. They really are. They're so outstanding, and I just have to shout her out because my daughter's one of them. But I feel like I'm mom to all of them, honestly. So yeah, that's us. That's who we are. Jacaranda, we are Small Press of the Year 2020. Regional winner in 24, and much more awards to come, I'm sure.
Valerie, thank you very much. Please take a seat. Now, I'm just laughing, thinking about my own background. Growing up in the north of England, in Manchester, in a very Ghanaian home, so books.
Yeah.
That was the culture, that was the creed. Where does your love of books come from?
Yeah, so likewise, I am the second youngest of 11 children.
Wow.
Born in Hackney, and my dad used to pay off for the Encyclopedia Britannica.
Yeah.
And because I was the second youngest, I had to entertain myself, and it was through books.
Yeah.
My younger sister as well, she's a head teacher. So that's what we used to do, is go to the library and read. And then we went to church school as well. So through the hymns, there was just this love and ear for language. And yeah, it was an escape. You'd fall into Narnia, you know, You'd fall into any of the 5 adventures. But remember also at that time, I mean, we did have Nancy books in the house, but hardly any black literature.
Ah, okay. And just thinking about the people that I know who are involved in the world of books, a lot of them are writers, very few are publishers, and those who've tried to have struggled, some have failed, and some say it's just too tough. The market out there is very brutal, even for the ethnic majority. So can you explain why you thought I can succeed in that area?
Well, I was stupid and sort of ignorant. No, it was a lot
you
of
know
ignorance.
What I'm saying.
Yeah, 1,000%.
Yeah.
But sometimes that's how things happen, right?
Yeah.
You don't know what you don't know. What I did know was that the books weren't there. I know what the kind of literature that I like to read, the authors that I like. You know, I used to love African American authors, people like Toni Cade Bambara, Alice Walker, and they were. Yeah, sorry. Okay. And so I thought when I started my business, I wanted to sort of reproduce that experience for my generation and the next generation of being able to have just a breadth of black writing. Yeah. And in this case, a lot of it came from the continent and then from the homegrown as well.
Okay. So the question then is, which writers? Because if you look at the mainstream publishers, they tend to go for marquee writers, often famous people who are not really writers, but they've got a huge profile on TV, radio, etc., and that's where they can make their money. And then they'll just give a few offcuts to the young, up-and-coming writers. How do you decide which writers could make your business viable?
Well, the beauty of our business is that we're small and we're nascent, so every book is a risk. But what we've managed to do through our acumen and our ability to really choose a great book or have a great idea, for example, Mags brought along the idea for A Quick Ting On, a series of key black aspects of black British culture. Yes, and those books have been brilliant.
The books there?
Yes.
Ah, okay, let's see it. Yes. Andy's holding up the books. And they're in all the packs, aren't they?
Yeah, and they're also on sale outside.
Fantastic,
as well.
cheers for that, yeah.
But also we're able to, because the fact of the matter is black authors aren't being respected by the industry, and so we've been sort of uniquely positioned to actually find people at the very beginning of their careers and really work through with them. You know, people like Erinus Nakoji, who's now a big name in literature, but also we've been able to find books that have just been stars on their own, and the author's a debut. So it's a real pleasure and joy to do that.
Excellent. Well, people are enjoying what you're saying here. Let's do some rapid fire Q&A. One person is asking, do you think the US is more serious about supporting and investing in black books than in Europe?
No.
No?
I don't know.
Whoa, okay, explain why.
Well, I think it's kind of shocking to me that the attitudes in American publishing are in some ways even more retrograde than they are over here. It's a very white place, US publishing, and a lot of black authors really struggle. The point is the market is
Despite
bigger.
the market?
Well, the market is bigger, so you're going to make more money, you're going to get more money, but it's still going to be one book. They're not like paying attention to the breadth of writing in the same way.
Okay. Another question here. If someone could write both children's books and adult books, would you ask which one would you ask them to focus on, or would you ask them to focus on one? I'm asking because I want to write a wide range of books. So what would you say?
No, write your range.
Write your range.
Definitely write. If you're that talented, it shouldn't.
Okay.
And I know so many people that do. They start off with a novel, they might do non-fiction, they've done a children's book, so.
Yeah, okay.
But if you want to be a novelist, then focus on novels and fiction.
All right. Someone else has written, how does the partnership work with the big publisher?
Right, so it's a basic sales and distribution partnership where we pay them 25% and they will warehouse our books, they will sell our books through the bookshops, and they will fulfill orders for us. So it's a very standard.
And how's it working? How's it going?
It's going.
Oh, no!
No, I think the thing is...
I thought you were going to say it's been an amazing move.
It will be. It will be. But we're very small and they're enormous. And it has been great, but it needs to be better. And that's just me and my ambition, I think, really not being satisfied with where it's at.
Yeah, someone else is saying, hi, Henry, please big up Auntie Vex Up. Anyone heard of Auntie Vex Up? Yes, Auntie Vex Up. I'm bigging it up. Auntie Vex Up. Because the publisher and I met here a couple of years ago, and it's just gone fantastically.
Excellent.
And finally, a pearl of wisdom or two from you, Valerie. Either to people who want to do books or more broadly to the various sectors of various entrepreneurs out here. What's the pearl of wisdom you would leave them with?
God, that's not easy, is it?
Okay, I'll give you 10 seconds. Have a think.
I don't think it's going to help. I mean, I just think, write what you... Oh, no, don't write what you know.
Oh, okay.
No, I just do... No, this is not good. I can't give you
Don't
one.
worry.
Yeah.
We love you. We think you're doing a great job. Thank you very much.